Hey there, everybody. This is Adam Zundel from the Mountain East Conference, and we want to take this opportunity to highlight some of the people behind the scenes on campus athletic departments that are working so hard on behalf of the student athletes on a daily basis. And joining us today from Glenville State College is Jonathan Griffin. Jonathan, thanks for taking the time with us here today.
Thanks for having me, Adam.
Of course. First, let's get to know you a little bit. Tell us about where you're from. Well, we know that I know that you've went to Glenville and never left, but kind of tell people a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Clarksburg, West Virginia. Went to Robert C. Byrd High School there. Played football and basketball there for 4 years. Was lucky enough to receive a scholarship to continue my football career here at Glenville State for Coach Alan Fiddler at the time. Had a great 4 years here. Won the 2008 conference championship, and had other plans of moving on, but it kind of just happened that the sports information director came open, and the AD at the time, Janet Bailey, thought that she said, "Hey, throw your hat in the ring. I'd love to have you if you want to stay," and been here ever since. So,
are there any rivalries in the Mountain East Conference that are as intense as the RCB Bridgeport rivalry?
You know, that's a pretty intense rivalry because honestly, my junior and senior year, we had to play that game on Saturdays during the daylight because of vandalism before and after on Friday nights. So probably the closest one for us would probably be Fairmont. But talking with our athletic director Jesse Skiles, the Wesleyan Glenville rivalry is also pretty intense as well.
Yep. Well, tell us about those glory days of yours. What's your fit? You told us about the championship, but do you have maybe a particular moment or game or reception that comes to mind for you?
Oh man, there's
so many to pick from for you. I know.
The most memorable one for me is going back to high school, playing basketball, playing for Coach Bennett at Robert C. Byrd. We got selected to play in the Cole Classic. And anybody that knows the Cole Classic, they have some nationwide teams there. So I don't know how it happened, but we got matched with Oak Hill Academy. Well, that year they have Kevin Durant, Lamont Gordon, Eric Devendorf, who played at Syracuse. And I mean, we got up 4-0. Their coach calls a timeout, and out of that timeout, they throw an alley-oop from Kevin Durant. And at that point, I'm thinking, yeah, well, we were up 4-0, so we ended up getting slaughtered. But it was unbelievable to play against that type of talent. So it was really neat. That's probably my most memorable athletic event, either playing or doing that. Maybe not my best achievement, but just being in that atmosphere and seeing those guys, it was pretty unbelievable.
I'm gonna have to run a Google search on Kevin Durant. I think he turned out to be okay, but I'll have to get check on that. You said you threw your hat into the ring for sports information. Did you have any idea what you were really getting into at that time?
I had a little bit because I had did at the time. So after the fall of my senior year, I started doing a work studyship with Pat McGinnis, who was the SID here at the time. So that spring semester, going from being an athlete and then having a lot of downtime, I'm like, I've got to do something. So I helped him do some stuff, but I had never imagined just the daily grind. And of course, you're always building in athletic departments. You're always adding sports, and we're doing this and we're doing that. And you're trying to find new ideas. So, it's ever changing almost every day. What you get used to doing last year may be something totally different now that you're going to do this year. But I had really no idea what I was getting into or the hours I was getting into. But the one benefit of it is you get to be around sports. So,
as we're dealing with so many things going on, and you talked about kind of the daily grind, just give people an idea of what maybe a basketball game day looks like for you start to finish, and kind of the things that go on that behind the scenes. As we said, we're trying to shine a light on those behind the scenes. So what is a game day like for you? And we'll just use basketball since it's going on.
So for a basketball game day, I'm usually here still. I usually get here about 7:30, 8 o'clock. We'll kind of work around the other team's practice schedule. So usually right around lunch, we'll start set up. And obviously set up now with COVID is a lot different. It takes a lot more time than what it used to be. So a lot of detail goes into that. Then after that, I'll double check all, each team's roster, our roster for the men's and women's game, the opposing team roster that's coming in for the men's and women's game, get my handouts for our bookkeeper, for Bob Edwards, our play-by-play guy, make sure they have all the appropriate information, make sure all of the live stats are up and running, right logos, all that, start creating the game files for the men's and women's. And then usually by that time, it's about 4-ish. So usually the women's team has started to warm up by that time. And then it's just basically operational, making sure the music is up, making sure now that all the girls have their masks on when they come up to warm up. But there's always something on the fly that we'll have to solve or do something, maybe letting the officials in the locker room's locked, making sure the opposing team gets to their locker room and they know where they can sit during the game and all that. So it's a daily grind. And then usually, I will say the nice thing about COVID is now you have that extra time after the women's game ends between men's games. Usually I can get everything done with the women's game before men's games even start. So then it's just finishing up the men's game. So last Wednesday, I got out of here about 10:30. So it wasn't too bad. But it's a grind. So, but again, you get to be around sports and, I think a lot of times people, the play at the Division II level is unbelievable. I think a lot of people don't realize the product that is out there, whether it be basketball or football, whatever it is. So it's a lot of fun to be around.
All right, my friend, that's all we've got for you today. Thanks so much for taking some time with us, but also thank you for all of the work that you put in, all those hours that you put in, and you're doing a great job for the athletes at Glenville State College, and we appreciate it.
Thanks, Adam. Just want to wish everybody the best of luck.